Hi, my name is Mr. Duez, and I'm here today, hopefully in this video, to help you understand what you can do to prepare for AP World History this summer. And it won't be long till you're back at school, and you'll be sitting in either my class or Ms. Jordan's class, and probably wondering, boy, what did I do with my summer, and how could I have possibly maybe prepared a little bit better? Because this is a commitment, AP World History is, that isn't really something to take lightly. There's a lot of work involved, and we want to make sure you're prepared for it. And there are a few things you can do this summer to help out. Just a couple little things that if you can pay attention to and think about, it'll help you tremendously next year. And we've seen this happen time and time again for our students. So first, I'll say that, studying world history is a pretty complex and complicated thing. AP World History is pretty competitive. It's very difficult. One of the most difficult social studies classes that we have here. And unfortunately, we teach it to sophomores, and sometimes you're not 100% ready. But ready or not, May will come, and the AP test will be here, and it'll be time for you to perform. And I'll tell you what's going to happen is my students are going to be ready. Ms. Jordan's students are going to be ready. Every year, we somehow find a way to get them ready. So hopefully this will help prepare you better, because we've never done a video like this before. You've had world geography. You've had a chance to really look at the world in that perspective. Now it's time to look at more of a historical perspective. And what I see is one of the biggest problems for students coming into this course is that they decide not to really give it their all. They don't decide to commit to the course. And it's hard to fail, but it's worse to have never tried to succeed. And I think that if you aren't giving it your very best, and you're not committing to it and saying, this is going to be me, I'm going to take AP World History, and I'm not going to give up until I figure it out, I want every one of those students who wants to do it. And I think the ones that are most difficult to work with for me are the ones that are, I don't know if I should do this, I don't know if I should drop, I don't know if this is right for me. You may be a little uncertain at first, but making the commitment to it and just putting the hard work into it, before you know it, you'll know if it's right for you, and you'll make it right for you. And it's very important, I think, for your development as a student who hopefully has a chance to move on to go to college, to have some of the skills that we're going to be teaching you. So start off with what you need to know. And the best thing you can do is get a copy of Standage's book, A History of the World in 6 Classes. There will be links on both my website and Ms. Jordan's website on where you could purchase the book. I'm sure they'll have it at Barnes & Noble here over at the mall. They have it online, and I'm sure many students have purchased it in the past and may even be able to sell it to you or let you borrow it. And it's online in various forms. Why we choose this book, the biggest reason is because it divides up the history of the world into 6 epochs or periods. We call them time periods, and periodization is a massive important part of our test. And if you talk to anybody who took the test this year, they came back to me saying generally speaking, they can't give me specifics about the multiple choice part of the test, but they said generally speaking, boy, they needed to work on time periods. And that's the case pretty much every year. There'll be a series of dates, and you'll have to kind of know what fits in those dates. One of the ways we've made this clear for students is give them a chance to read this book over the summer. And like I said, there'll be some things on the website to help you understand it better. And I have a few video clips like this one to help you. But Standage divides them into these 6 periods, just like we have them divided, and then he chooses a drink for each one. And I think it's a great way to kind of explain the culture, the history, and what's happening in the world during each of these time periods. And you'll see that play out as we go through the course, each time period that we flip to. There's no question about that. So the summer reading, and then you see the book here. You can even read it on the beach. That's been done before. This is the book, and it's on the beach. The bottom here is a little picture of me in the corner, and just sort of like this video. I have the reading guide on the website, and I think your teachers will have that to distribute to you already this spring. I would answer the questions on the reading guide as you go through them, and they're questions that you may not find the answer to directly in the book. You're going to have to think about it and think about how you interpret what he's written. But do the best you can with that. If you watch the videos where I've done some video screencasts over the book, I think that should help you some too, because I'm going to pull out some detail and some things and compare it to the course that we're going to study and have you learn that you may not be aware of. So that'll help jumpstart you and get you going at the beginning of the year. Those videos are all done, and you can watch them anytime you'd like. They're on my website already. And review the presentations that go with it. So there's a Google Doc presentation just like this one right here, the one that I've created in Google Docs, and you can pull that up on the phone, on a smartphone, on a device, on a tablet, computer, anywhere, and flip through it. So doing that this summer will go a long way towards helping you get off to a good start. And there's me a couple years ago, and there's 5 or 6 questions for each time period, and they're pretty straightforward. If you have questions about them and you're really uncertain and not sure how to answer them, get together with somebody, make a study group, or email me. I mean, I get emails from all across the country every single summer from students all the time. I'm getting questions from kids, and I'm thinking, oh, this must be a new kid that I have in class next fall, maybe a 9th grader becoming a 10th grader here at our school, and no, it's some kid in California or something. So my website is whap.mrduez.com. It's built to help everyone. I don't have a password protecting anything. Everything's out there. My tests aren't out there, but all my presentations are for the entire year, and everything is there already. Yeah, sure, I may make some things as we go next year, but it's all there. And you'll see a link on the website, I don't know, somewhere right around down here on the left-hand side, that'll say Summer 6 Classes. When you click on that link, that'll take you to all the material that I have for you over the summer reading. So that's enough about the summer reading. I mean, I think you should just read the book, answer the questions, watch the videos, come to school with a positive attitude, ready to go, and it will be good. Believe me, it will be good. If you don't read the book and you kind of put it off and I'll read some of it and I'm not really going to watch all these videos, it's kind of worthless, and do I really need to know all this? You just want to have that good, positive foundation to kind of start with, and I'm just telling you, the students who have done that it's really helped them. Because let's look at the numbers here for a second. 15% of all U.S. sophomores take AP World History. That's not very many. We start this course with 300 kids or so taking AP World History out of your class, and that's far more than 15%. That's way more than 15%. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're a little higher than that. But 50% of those who take the exam get a 3, a 4, or 5, and those are the highest scores. 5 is the best, 4 is next best, and 3 is the score that most colleges and universities would accept for credit. You are truly an elite, highly capable student if you pass with a 3, 4, or 5 the AP World History test. This is our T-shirt from this year, and we've taken the term "We Are the Exception," and that's something that John Green's World History videos use, which are also excellent to watch. But these students this year were truly the exception. For me, for my students, they came to me having trouble writing a paragraph, looking at me and saying, "We don't write in social studies. We're going to write? You're going to write." And they improved dramatically this year, and in ways that I've never had a class improve. They came back from the AP World History test this spring and said, "I think I did pretty well." And as a full group, that's how they felt. That was incredible for me to see. So we're ordering T-shirts. We've gotten a T-shirt just about every year, and so they'll be delivered here in not too long a time period. So one of the other reasons they were really prepared is because we took the exam as a practice down there in the small gym. Your AHS WAP teacher will not be grading your AP exam. That will be done by somebody over the summer. Okay, who grades them? It's the AP folks that do the grading. So sometime in June they get together in a big conference room, and in many conference rooms in a hotel or resort somewhere across the country, And I think this year is Salt Lake City. Ms. Jordan is going. She'll be one of the folks that score it. This is a national exam. It's a standardized test. It's much like the SAT. And actually, the same people that give you the SAT is the College Board. And the Advanced Placement Program is one of their other programs. So what did we do this year to help prepare? One of the things is during one of the days of EOC, I think it was U.S. History Day of EOC, all of our WAP students for the sophomores, they went down in a small gym. We had it set up exactly how it would be for AP testing. And the 220-some students sat there and took the test, and this really gave them a confidence boost. When they stepped into the testing room, which is the small gym because there's so many of them, when they stepped in there the next week to take the AP test, or the following week, I think it was about 10 days later, they really felt good about the situation. They could visualize what it was going to look like, and they were ready. You will be ready by next spring, and this is one of the toughest tests you're ever going to take. I promise you, if you put the work in, you're going to sit just like these kids did and maybe get college credit as a sophomore. You have to pay to take the AP test, and a lot of students are surprised by this, but of course you do. And if it was free, you really wouldn't push yourself to do well anyway. This is an opportunity to gain college credit, which might be thousands of dollars in credit. It depends on the school you go to and how much they would charge you for that. But this is a foundation for success in all of our social studies classes that really has historically been something that's propelled students on to really great things in college. And I've taught in this district for over 10 years. I've been at this high school since it was built. On the same day that it opened, I was here. And Humboldt ISD has, for I believe it's 4 years in a row now, been named an AP honor roll school district. So this is not just our school, although I think we have a big part in this because we have such high numbers. But across our district, students take AP tests. And you can see some of the best right here. And the pictures of them below, the pictures of them graduating at the top, there's our top 10 students. And below that, when they were sophomores with me just a few years ago. It's hard to believe those students don't even go to school here anymore. They just graduated a couple weeks ago. But students will take AP World in the 10th grade, AP US in 11th, AP Psych 11th or 12th grade, and I also teach that. AP Euro, AP Macro, which my wife teaches, that's economics, and AP Government, they take both of those in their senior year. So I've had students who have taken all of those courses. You talk about differentiating yourself and propelling yourself into the top 10%, there's no question. You score well there. There are no students in that top 10 who didn't take a majority of those classes, if not all of them. And we have somebody in town to look to understand how to work for success, and J.J. Watt is the perfect example of that. And if you don't know who that is, you might need to get out a little bit. But his quote, and it's not something that he invented, but he's said it before, I repeated it, is success isn't owned, it's leased, and rent is due every day. It's putting the work in every day that makes the difference. That is really what makes the difference for an AP student. So what are we going to learn really quickly here? And I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but these are the time periods we're going to progress through. And, you're going to see that there's a lot to fill in there. But the 6 glasses approach that we're going to take, and that's Tom Stange at the bottom, and the person reading the book at the top, these are the 6 time periods, and you can see the different drinks that would roughly correspond with the time periods. It's very important to read the book. This is, I would say, almost all people across the country who teach this course, and even a lot of college courses, assign the book A History of the World in 6 classes because it's a really good overview of the whole course. What else are we going to learn about? We're going to learn about the 5 themes of AP World History. They're hugely important, and we call them SPICE during the year, so SPICE. And when we're talking about writing, and we'll do that in a second, we're going to say make sure you're using enough spice. And if you're not sure, spice it up. So go to social, political, interactions, and between humans and their environment, interaction there, culture, and also political things, which number 5 is often thought of as social structures, and also the third one there, state building, expansion, and conflict. That's the one people don't see often. That's the political one. It's purple too. So we refer to these throughout the year. We're constantly working on that. What else are we going to look at? These 4 historical thinking skills. They are very important, from looking at evidence, whether it's text-based evidence or whatever, and analyzing that for point of view, who the author is, who the audience is, looking for chronological reasoning, comparing things over time, comparing and contextualization, historical interpretation and synthesis. All of these things are the kind of skills that you're going to have to prove that you understand and know. And of course, all of those are done with writing. Half of our test is writing. The other half of our test is multiple choice. There are 70 multiple choice questions in 55 minutes. There are 3 questions that are long format essay questions. Now that format's going to change in a year or two, in 2016, 2017. But the one you're going to prepare for next May has 3 long answer essay questions. We're going to be writing a lot. And if you ask students who took this class, they will tell you this is a writing class. They read in here in AP World History as much as they do, and probably more than they do in AP English classes and pre-AP English classes. Having success is something that is going to happen if you stick it out and you push through it and you do the work. If you do what I tell you to do in my class, you're going to succeed. If you say you're doing it, but you're not really doing it, you might succeed. These students in this class, that's one of my psychology classes this spring, I had most of them in AP World History, and they worked their tails off. And they've continued that in their junior and their senior year. And seeing them move on and go to college and be accepted and go to some great schools, it's a fantastic experience for me to see. But I'm just telling you, you want to join the club. You don't want to be someone who drops out of AP World History, who says, I don't know if I can do it, I don't know if I can do it. You can do it. I promise you can do it. Others have, this is Logan's quiz scores from the spring. All hundreds except for 190. That's never happened on any quizzes I've ever had. And every year the quiz scores keep going up. They're not cheating. They don't know the answers. They're just preparing better. I'm teaching it better. We're getting better at it. Next year is not going to be an exception to that. It's going to continue to improve. I promise you, we're going to get better. We'll move it down the road here. I've had some great classes over the years. 6 periods, definitely one of those this year. We did a little interaction with a war battle scene, and it was one of the more interesting things I've ever seen in class. One student rose above the rest and somehow took down the other team when it looked like there was no way that she was going to be able to win, that she clutched a victory right out of the jaws of defeat. It was pretty amazing. But amazing things happen in AP World History. I mean, we get people ready for this test, which is pretty hard to do. Amazing things happen in my classroom. So I hope you can become a part of that. You're going to want to be a part of that and have better success in the future, but you're not going to have that kind of success without laying that groundwork and having that foundation. I'm not asking you to work every single day over the summer over on AP World History, but I would do maybe a chapter a week, or maybe a chapter a week after, a little while, or sit down in August when August starts and really pour through the book and go through it then. I mean, find a way to do it. Give yourself a break this summer, but get to work as well, because you're going to have to. If you want to walk with the top 10, you're going to have to put the work in, because somebody else is going to. This is a competitive world, as we'll learn in world history, but we have a lot of fun doing this too. And believe me, I mean, it is worth the time and it's worth the effort. And a lot of people think it's pretty fun too. This is one of my students who, he thought he had it all figured out as a sophomore, and he didn't, but he worked his butt off, and he worked his butt off in the football field as well. But he had to have the grades to get into the Naval Academy. He just graduated this spring, or had his service appointment this spring. He is the kid, Pablo Beltran, who kicked the game-tying field goal in the first ever playoff game at this school, and you can see that up here at the top corner. Working with students like this who have some talent outside of the classroom is great. but you can do it in the classroom as well. So these people who tell me, oh, I'm an athlete, I don't have time for this, that's bull. There's stronger words for it, but it is bull. I played 2 sports all the way through college. I might not look like I could do that today, but I was a college football and baseball player and went to very difficult school. You can put the academic work in and put the athletic work in, or the dance room or orchestra or choir or band or whatever it is you're doing. In fact, the stats say you're going to be a highly successful student if you are active outside of school. So don't make excuses. Just get it done. And winners form habits. And success is what we do repeatedly. And just making the decision to commit to this and prepare will take you a very long way. So I wish you good luck this summer. If you need some help, you can always send me an email or two. Come by and see me if you have questions. I'm down here in Red 1207. I don't see freshmen too often. But if you do have some questions, or shoot me an email at the school address, or just david.duez@gmail.com. I'll leave you with this. We say this around here every once in a while, and it kind of goes like this. DFTBA, don't forget to be awesome. And hopefully this summer you'll have an awesome summer, and part of the awesomeness will be getting yourself prepared and ready for this class. Wish you good luck, and for a lot of you, I'll see you next year.